Hey everyone, welcome back to the best US Mint news channel on YouTube. I'm Son of a Silver Stacker. Today's date is the 10th of June, 2025. In this video, we have a couple things we're going to be doing, actually a few. Two articles from numismaticnews.net, What's Eye Appeal, and then the other one's about third-party grading. Is it necessary, optional, or essential? Then we're going to be sussing out what's going on with that 2025 laser beam Privy marked American Silver Eagle. But before that, listen, if you're new here, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We're always trying to get more subs here, if you like. Also, we're always live, never edited, and always unscripted. I never know what I'm going to say or do. Now, let's bounce over here to MoneyMetalscom. Bingo. Looks like a mixed bag today. Gold's up 285 to 33.41.50. Wow, silver down 13 cents to 36.82. It looks like we're almost at $37 overnight. That's incredible. Platinum down 805 to, what's that, 1225.80. And then palladium down $20 to 1082.70. Dr. Copper's down 2 pennies to 4.88 per pound. Down here, you're looking at in stock American Silver Eagle, whose premium is $6.69 for the quantity 1 through 39. The guy's paying $43.52. Now the buyback, the sell to them price is $37.63, and that is definitely above the spot price at $36.82. Now the next stop's going to be the United States Mint's product page, and here we see here the American Eagle 2025 1 ounce silver coin, laser beam Privy mark. And is it going to be a laser beam on there like Dr. Evil in that movie? $1 million, I don't know. Well, check this out. We're going to go to the product page. They don't really have anything going on there, but it does say 25 EALE. Does that mean Enhanced American Laser Eagle? I don't know. I don't know that it's going to be a laser beam, because check this out over at the Federal Register. 2 days ago, we did a video about this, and it seemed to go right over my head. I did understand that it was a proof. That's no problem. But look at this. It's laser engraved American Eagle 1 ounce silver proof coin at $105. And like I said, I'm always unscripted, unedited. I never know what I'm not going to say, right? So I was really focused on the prices, and that's okay. You get tunnel vision sometimes, right? We're human, and I'm one guy. But look at this. This is kind of exciting. This is from the coin community. I was looking up all kinds of information about this laser engraved Privy marked American Silver Eagle from 2025. And look what one of the pillars of the community had to say. Today I was watching the YouTuber, Son of a Silver Stacker. I like watching his content. I'll just leave it at that. I guess he didn't want to get attacked or anything. I don't know. Not a member of his channel or like that. Oh, well, that's good. So today he was talking about the Privy releases coming up. He was going from site to site and went to a site I'd never heard of called the Federal Register, which is a U.S. government site. They show different types of documents from different agencies. So I took a look to look at what I'm talking about, I went to the site, then went to agencies down to the Treasury Department, and finally the U.S. I generally leave a link in the description. Didn't have to do all that legwork, but that's okay. It says United States Mint products. It was the tip of the document. I've attached a screenshot of what I'm excited to see in the document. They're referring to this as a laser engraved ASE. I assume that means the Privy mark is laser engraved and that it is a proof. Well, yeah, it's a proof, right? It just totally whooshed over his head, and no one made a comment either, except he says it was a proof without really being excited over that being mentioned. I added orange brackets to the attached image right there, laser engraved, and that's what we came across yesterday. Then I went to the Google machine, and man, I'm like, who am I? What am I doing here? Am I even worthy of being a coin collector, or even am I even a pillar of the coin collecting community? So I went coin community, Triple S, Son of a Silver Stacker, and then this came up. I'm like, wait, AI knows who I am? I got to get out of here. Now it says here, this is the Search Labs AI overview. It says Son of a Silver Stacker, Triple S is a prominent? What? Come on. Prominent YouTube channel dedicated to news and information about the U.S. Mint and the hobby of numismatics, coin collecting. The channel aims to provide theory, news, speculation, and information related to this field, including discussions on how external influences might affect the hobby. Triple S is known for its U.S. Mint news and analysis. Now, it's not financial advice. The focus is world of numismatics surrounding the ecosystem of the hobby, including the impact of broader market trends in the hobby. I had to get a little swishy water. The primary platform for Triple S is the YouTube channel. You know that if you're watching. And it says the Coin Community Connection. Well, it says here, the search results primarily point to Son of a Silver Stacker YouTube channel. The concept of coin community and silver stacking are closely intertwined with the channel's content. Online coin and silver stacking communities provide platform for individuals to connect, share information, and discuss the hobby, which is a key element of the content of Well, it's covered by Triple S. The YouTube channel likely serves as a central hub for members of the coin and silver stacking community to receive news and insights related to U.S. Mint releases, market trends, and other relevant information. And in summary, in the finality here, in summary, the Son of a Silver Stacker Triple S on YouTube is a key source for news and analysis within the coin and silver stacking community, offering enthusiasts a platform to learn about U.S. Mint numismatics and related topics. There you go. Thank you, AI. That was a nice warm fuzzy. Now, here we go. What is eye appeal? This is Numismatic News from Michael Fazari, updated June 5, 2025. What is eye appeal? What is a coin's eye appeal and why it's important, folks? And listen, if you get a coin and you say, wow, really loud, that's probably going to be an amazing coin. Now, if you say, wow, look at that, it's clean, that's a whole different program, right? You don't want clean coins. Always check your coins. Always look at the coins. And education is the key, and I'm going to help you do that here this morning. So check this out. Looking from left to right, only the coin on the right has desirable commercial eye appeal when in hand. And that's, I mean, look, you buy coins off the internet auctions, eBay, whatever. It's tough to kind of see what they have, right? Unless they're already in government packaging. I like that myself. However, the coin in the center would be considered to be attractive by some. The brownish rim and the breaks in toning diminish the coin on to the left. I don't like toning myself. In fact, toning was frowned upon 10 years ago, 15 years ago in the coin community. And it's like, ooh, damage, don't want it, lesser value. But nowadays, some toning is quite remarkable looking, like a bullseye or something like that with really deep hues. Those are fantastical, but they are rare, right? That's why it makes them so valuable. It says here, for this column, I'm going to take a crack at explaining eye appeal. The reason I'm writing on this subject is because I see an old problem becoming worse with regard to modern coins that are only modern for a specific time period. You know how it works. At one time, many of us could anticipate the issues of a bright red 1956 Lincoln cent to fill a hole in our Whitman album. Back then, that was a modern coin. I don't consider these to be modern coins anymore, although others do. Isn't that interesting? Is it 1956 modern? No, I think modern is 1965, right, when we got out of the silver in our coins. But that's just my opinion. This represents a problem for the third-party grading services, as it seems to me that inexpensive modern coins are being graded differently. While grading services existed before PCGS and NGC, think Annex and IGC, I'll bet most young collectors believe professional grading began in 1986. A relatively short time after they were started, these two third-party graders added a modern tier to their grading services. Many of these modern coins are graded by the naked eye alone due to their availability and lack of present-day value when they reach the grading rooms. I've seen many of these on the market that receive grades far above what, in my opinion, is warranted because they lack eye appeal. That's huge, folks. Eye appeal is everything. When I grade moderns, I look to the future and don't change my standards. That's awesome. You got to have standards, right? That way, a dime a thousand 2025 Silver Eagle graded mid-state 70 today, selling for $100, that may be worth many multiples of that in 20 years, will hold its grade when someone examines it at 10 power, right? I have a loop myself. I think it's 16 powers by H.E. Harris and Company. It's model 1020. That's what I use. Otherwise, some future examiner will determine that once a market acceptable perfect coin actually has a number of obvious defects, perfect mid-state 70 coins exist, so my advice to readers is to quote the often heard statement, buy the coin and not the label. And folks, there it is. That's all you need to know. That's everything. And sometimes you need to see the coin in hand to really see what's going on. And that, you see those lines right there? That's from a polished die. Yeah, look at that. That's brutal, right? And that ruins the eye appeal. Looks like a bunch of scratches. Looks like somebody took some brasso and steel wool to it or something. Yeah, it wasn't me. Yeah, 1988 or 89, it looks like. Eye appeal is a pleasing initial impression of an object that is confirmed or not after a closer inspection. The determination of eye appeal is based on the vision and experience of the examiner using prevailing trends and customs. It is influenced by the viewing conditions such as lighting. Now, folks, when you're looking at a coin, okay, it's muy importante to have one light source in a dark room, okay? One light source. don't have multiple light sources, it's going to create all kinds of weird shadows, and you don't need that. I have an overhead lamp that sticks to my table that I use for coin grading myself, and I turn off all the lights and just have that, thing sitting there at ready and waiting. Same with the loop that I use. So that's a great setup, and I think that's what they use in the coin grading rooms. And if you ever seen a picture of those coin grading rooms, they're kind of dimly lit, like mood lighting, and then they each have their own desk and then the lamp that sits at their table. So there you go. All right, it says here lighting the container if present, etc. Any object can have eye appeal. For example, when shopping for a tomato, most would pick one with a firm, reflective red-orange surface rather than one with a split skin and black patches. But we're talking about coins and not attractive tomatoes, either human or vet. Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Womp womp. A coin's eye appeal is chiefly focused on the quality of its surface and its color, although its overall design must also play a small and possibly subliminal part right deep in the back of the mind's eye. Because of this, even coins with solid, outstanding eye appeal can still be separated into different grades. The problem is, we are now going right back to the area of subjectivity. So there's objectivity and subjectivity. Objectivity means you're looking at it from a non-biased point of view. It's not subject to any of my opinions or standards. It's just objective, right? Where the knowledge, experience, vision, and viewing conditions come into play. That's subjective right there. All right, look at that. Ooh, that looks like some awful milk spots. Did it come out of the kangaroo? I don't know. If you think about it, it says here a coin's grade is definitely connected to its eye appeal, and yet it is not. What? Yeah, it might be mintages, right? It might be mintages in the specific coin or in the year. And about good coin can be just as attractive for its grade as a mint state 70 coin. So if you agree, we can rule out the amount of a coin's design remaining in my attempt to explain eye appeal. That leaves the determination of eye appeal dependent on the condition its surface and relative to any distracting defects other than loss of design details due to circulation wear. And I got to show you here, folks, about grading. There's a PCGS website, right? They have Photograde, and it's fantastic. I'll show you that in here in a second. Metal surfaces are susceptible to lots of things: contact marks such as scratches, scrapes, damage, and bag marks, along with chemically induced problems such as spot stains and corrosion. Zinc and scents, and are all considered to be defects. Are all considered to be defects? Question. I don't even know. This raises the question of degree, which is further influenced by the location of the defect. Since the fewer post-mint defects on a coin, the better the problem-free coins have the best chance of having good eye appeal. And that goes for airs too, right? The air's got to be in a really cool spot. Like, for example, the 2022 American Women Quarter featuring Maya Angelou with the nesting bird, right? With that's beautiful. Also, remember the Tuskegee Airman coin that had the control tower on fire. That looked amazing, right? So it's all also about the location of the air. Now let's check out those Photograde real quick here. This is PCGS, Price Guide US, half cents and cents, Lincoln Wheat Cent Reverse, 1909 to 1958. And we're going to be doing Photograde, and that's their trademark services. And this is fantastical, folks, all right? So you have here FRs 2, that's a grade right there. And look at that, that bad boy's worn out. Right? And you can open that in a new tab to get a little bit more like, wow, that's a little more detail. It's garbage looking, right? That's brutal. And then, obviously, let's keep on. I think I just lost it. Yeah. So you can look at your coin like, oh, there's no wheat stalks hardly at all visible. There's some wheat stalks visible there, but they don't have any kind of like any details. There's maybe some details in the wheat stalk. And okay, if you go further on down the line, VG8, you got some more here detail. F12, let me just go here. Bingo, all the way to mint state. Look at this. So these are looking a lot better, right? You can see kind of more details. You can see the words and the letters. And the wheat has a little bit more detail in the stalks there. And it just gets better from there, folks. And you can grade your coin like this. And guess what? Yeah, PCGS has all kinds of photo grades for all kinds of coins. And it's fantastic that they actually did this. Let's go to a mint state 68. From 1934. Look at that bad boy, right? Come on. Look at that. It's almost perfect. Love that. So that's that one. Now, next article is from Numismatic News right here, and it's under Home Collecting 101 Community Poll Question. And I'm just going to leave a link in the description for this one. It says here, poll question: how do you feel about grading services? Essential, optional, or overrated? Why? Now, it says here, answering the May 30, 2025 poll from the Numismatic News e-letter, readers weigh in on the pros and cons of third-party graders. And this is by the Numismatic News staff, updated June 5, 2025. And I think there's one that I need to read to you. And yeah, I think it's Mike. He had a really good bunch of points he made here. He says, let me start by saying I have not used a grading service. That's because I don't have anything in my collection that I would feel would require it. That is not to say that I will never use one. The occasion may come up when I acquire a coin that I believe would benefit from being graded professionally. I do have some coins that I bought that have been graded and slabbed already. Other than those, I will not rule out grading by a service. For these reasons, I would say that using a grading service would be optional, right? And I totally agree. When I started coin collecting only a few years ago, I read that learning how to grade my coins would be a good idea. Amen to that. I already showed you how to do it on Photograde. I started reading up on how to grade a coin, and it has given me an idea what my coins might be worth. Yeah, there you go. You can get an idea what your coins might be worth using Photograde. Because let's say if you have a mint state 67, 1940, right? 1940 mint state. Let's go ahead and just look that up. I'm going to go to the, and that was a Philadelphia strike, right? 1940. There you go. And it is red, and it is in a 66 or 67. Yeah, I think we're looking at a 67. Yeah, 1940 Philadelphia in a 67. You're looking at a $200 penny. Yeah, that's a good bit of money, I would think. Let's keep on keeping open. That's the wrong one. Whoops, there we go. All right, now he says here, I will not rule out grading by a service. For these reasons, I would say that using a graded service would be optional. When I started coin collecting a few years ago, I read that learning how to grade my coins would be a good idea. Usually I don't reiterate something like that, but that's how important it is. I started reading up on how to grade a coin, and it has given me an idea of what my coins might be worth. I practice it whenever I look at my collection. And anytime you get a new coin, folks, you might want to use that, put it in a flip, and put the grade on there, what you might think it could be, right? Yeah, it's really simple. Sometimes I read an article about a coin I have, so I look at the coin and I see how it compares to other coins like mine. It's actually easier to do right when you get the coin than to go back and do it. All right, how it compares to other coins like mine. This makes me believe that grading is something that varies from collector to collector. I am inclined to say that this is also optional, but there could be times when it would be essential depending on the coin and the possible value of the coin. Yeah, if you got a Carson City Morgan dollar, yeah, you send it in, right? That's what I would do. Now it says here, even though I have said I believe that grading varies between collectors, I do not think using a grading service would be overrated, but I also do not believe it is essential in all situations. That's right. And just like you can't put people in categories, same with the coins, right? I look at my collection and my notes on how I graded the particular coin, and I see that I tend to grade conservatively. See, wouldn't that be cool? Like I said, put what you think is on there, right, on the grade, and then when you send it in, you can compare and contrast what your grade, what you thought it was, what the professionals have, right? And like this guy says, hey, I tend to grade conservatively, which means he grades it lower possibly than the third-party graders. That's huge because it comes back with probably, to his surprise, worth more than he thought it was. That's fantastic. I sometimes go back and regrade some of them. I don't know how a grading service grades a coin, but they must have guidelines that a grader must follow in order to be as fair as possible. That's right, objectivity, subjectivity. Also, guidelines would help the grader to be consistent in his grading. My final opinion is that grading services is optional in most situations. Mike, I agree with you. From Milwaukee, that's a Wayne World quote. Now, I've yammered for way too long in this episode. I think I'm moving up on 20 minutes. That's a long time for me. One guy in his house doing videos, unedited, unscripted, and yeah, just winging it. Now, this is the steps in acquisition of wisdom. This is from Solomon. And it says here, when we seek wisdom and knowledge, the first step is silence, the second is listening, the third is remembering, and the fourth is practicing, and the fifth is teaching others. That is huge, folks. That's everything in life. If you want to be good in life, do this, right? Now, silence, you got one mouth. The second is listening. You got two ears. The third is remembering. That's using your brain. And then practicing, right? That's actively participating in the knowledge and wisdom you've gained. And then the fifth one, is sharing it with other people. And I think that's ultimately one of the best things you can do is teach others. And that's kind of what I'm doing here for you today. That's me, son of a silver stacker. Now let's go to the 99.9 KON Coin News radio station. I wish it was real. That'd be cool. Well, be careful what you wish for, right? But I would love to have 99.9 KON Coin News radio. Whoa, whoa. This is Bob Welch, Sentimental Lady, and it's the extended version. Yeah. Hot love in a cold world, baby. Come on. All right, now with that said, I want to thank y'all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, hey, sub the channel. It's absolutely free. What's not free? Yeah, well, it's the membership. It's $1.99 a month. It's the price of a cheap cup of coffee. Unless you're a senior, you might get that for free at Chick-fil-A. I'm not sure. But also, hey, check out the store. We have mugs. We have hoodies. We have T-shirts. We got stickers. But really what's the most awesome stuff in there is from our friend Mickey Minsky. He has made some awesome coin roll hunting mats. And folks, if you purchase one, please in the comments below, let people know how epic those are. They're almost 3 feet across. It's almost to the point where it's obnoxious. It's like me, right? So listen, folks, I want to thank y'all for coming. Thanks for dropping by. Don't forget to hit that like button. And you have a wonderful Taco Tuesday. Stacker out.